We are going to do poetry today. A lot of good poetry. I'm always recommend you guys do Bloom book, stories and poems for extremely intelligent children of all age. Why smart kids, extremely smart kids need to study story and poem? Why is that, Leah? Why we want to study poem?
Because it's fun.
Yeah, because it's fun, because it's a very lyrical, especially I give you a good credit on the Highwayman, because this Highwayman happened to be some of the most popular and famous poetry in England. In Britain, they like it, and you are studying English, therefore we study poetry. Leah, what do you have to say?
Fun fact, this is why I get extra credit. First, I wrote a page of that, the whole A page. I wrote it within 2 hours. Stop flapping! And that's why I got extra credit. Me and Catherine wrote the entire thing in 1 hour.
Wow.
But I had a summary analysis, so that makes it up, huh?
That's right, ha 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 ha. So you guys all competing with each other to study poetry, that make me very happy. So each person read one paragraph, and then we are going to read the whole poetry. Let's see who is doing a better job. Okay. So Leah, no. Let's do our system. Emily will be the first one, Leah the second one, and Catherine the third one. And each one of you read how much? 1 paragraph, maybe sometimes 2 paragraphs. No, Emily, go ahead. The introduction of the Highwayman. Go.
The Highwayman is a romantic ballad poem written by Alfred Noyes, first published in the August 1906 issue of Blackwood's magazine, based in Edinburgh, Scotland. The following year, it was included in Noyes' collection. 40 Singing Seamen and Other Poems became an immediate success. In 1995, it was voted 15th in the BBC's poll for the national favorite poems.
BBC is the English broadcasting system. It has been there for several, maybe 100 years. So it's very popular.
Is 1 century, so you can just
right, a century, 100 years. I think they last that long. So if a BBC think this is poetry is in the 15th, the nation's, the Great Britain's most favorite poems. I do some research for you guys. I think for the fun of it. Okay, I selected BBC's nation's favorite poems. How many of them? In 1995, 100 of them. In our class, at least we will study 10 of them, maybe more, because we did homeschool. So I gave you guys the highest standard, and we are going to have fun together, okay? A lot of them, some high schoolers like Donna studied these poetries with me. So I want you guys to study poetry with me too. So I'm very happy yesterday, like Leah did a lot of work on the Highwayman. So from now on, each person read 2 paragraphs. This is a ballad. You can sing and play music with this one. Like a Catherine can play her guitar and sing the song and to entertain me, and I entertain you. That we entertain each other. 为什么我们要学诗呢？因为在中国的小孩，你爸爸妈妈学习的时候要背唐诗300首，要背诗。现在你们都不能背英文诗了，就背，都不能背中文诗了 ，right？ 那就背英文诗，好不好？我们学诗、背诗 ，appreciate， maybe even play music with it。然后我们去学习它的 rhyming scheme，how the poetry entertain us，and then we discuss。Now, Emily, your job is to perform, not to read the poetry, but perform and make me smile, laugh, or cry. If you did that, you win. Now, Emily, loud and clear.
It's literally recording.
Yeah, I'm recording. Go ahead. I can cry. Go.
The wind was a torrent of darkness among the gusty trees. The moon was a ghostly galleon tossed upon cloudy sea. The road was a ribbon of moonlight over the purple moor, and the highwayman came riding. The highwayman came riding up to the old inn door. He'd a French cocked hat on his forehead, a bunch of lace at his chin, a coat of claret velvet, and breeches of brown doe skin. They fitted with never a wrinkle. His boots were up to the thigh, and he rode with a jeweled twinkle, his pistol butts a twinkle, his rapier hilt a twinkle under the jeweled sky. Over the cobbles he clattered and clashed in the dark inn yard. He tapped with his whip on the shutters, but all was locked and barred. He whistled a tune to the window, and who should be waiting there but the landlord's black-eyed daughter, Bess, the landlord's daughter, plaiting a dark red love knot into her long black hair.
Leah's turn.
Oh man.
In a dark old inn yard, a stable wicket creaked, where Tim the oldster listened. His face was white and peaked. His eyes were hollows of madness. His hair was like mouldy hay, but he loved the landlord's daughter, the landlord's red-lipped daughter. Dumb as a dog he listened, and he heard the robber say, "One kiss, my bonny sweetheart, I'm out for a prize tonight, but I shall be back with the yellow gold before the morning light. Yet if they press me sharply and harry me through the day, then look for me by moonlight, watch for me by moonlight, I'll come to thee by moonlight, till hell shall bar the way."
Catherine's turn.
He rose upright in his stirrups. He scarce could reach her hand, but she loosened her hair in the casement. His face burnt like a brand, and the black cascade of perfume came tumbling over his breast, and he kissed its waves in the moonlight. Oh, sweet black waves in the moonlight. Then he tugged at his rein in the moonlight and galloped away to the west.
Now, part 2. Keep on going. Catherine, you did great.
He did not come in the dawning. He did not come at noon. And out of the tawny sunset, before the rise of moon, the gypsy's ribbon, looping the purple moor, a red-coat troop came marching. King George's men came marching up to the old inn door.
Emily's turn.
They drank his ale instead, but they gagged his daughter.
Start from here. They said no word to the landlord.
They said no word to the landlord. They drank his ale instead, but they gagged his daughter and bound her to the foot of her narrow bed. 2 of them knelt at her casement, with muskets at their side. There was death in every window, and hell in one dark window. For Bess could see through her casement the road that he would ride. They tied her up, drew attention with many a sniggering jest. They had bound a musket beside her, with a muzzle beneath her breast. Now keep good watch. They kissed her. She heard the doomed man say, "Look for me by moonlight. Watch for me by moonlight. I'll come to thee by moonlight, though hell should bar the way." She twisted
Leah's turn.
She twisted her hands behind her, but all the knots held good. She twisted her hands till her fingers were wet with sweat or blood. They stretched and strained in darkness. An hour crawled by like years, till now on the stroke of midnight, cold on the stroke of midnight, the tip of one finger touched it, the trigger at least with hers. The tip of one finger touched it, she strove no more for the rest. Up she stood up to attention with muzzle beneath her breast. She would not risk their hearing, she would not strive again. Her road lay bare in the moonlight, blank and bare in the moonlight, and the blood of her vines in the moonlight draw to her love's refrain. My turn. Had they heard it? The horse hooves ringing clear. In the distance, were they deaf that they did not hear? Down the ribbon of moonlight, over the brow of the hill, the highwayman came riding. The red coast looked to the priming. She stood up, straight and still, in the frosty silence, in the echoing night. Nearer he came, and nearer. Her face was like a light. Her eyes grew wide for a moment. She drew one last deep breath. Then her finger moved in the moonlight. Her musket shattered the moonlight, shattered her breast in the moonlight, and warned him with her death. Wait, I think someone's turn.
Go ahead. You can keep on going because Emily is losing concentration.
He turned and he spurred to the west. He did not know who stood, bowed with her head over the musket, drenched with her own blood. Not until the dawn he heard it, and his face grew gray to hear how Bess, the landlord's daughter, the landlord's black-eyed daughter, had watched for her love in the moonlight and died in the darkness there. Back, he spurred like a madman, shrieking a curse to the sky, with the white road smoking behind him, and his rapier brandished high. Blood red were his spurs in the golden noon. Wine red was his velvet coat when they shot him down on the highway, down like a dog at the highway. And he lay there in his blood on the highway with a bunch of lace at his throat.
Wonderful job, wonderful job. Now, Emily's turn. Emily's turn. Unmute yourself. Now it's the ghost story. Now it's the ghost story.
And still of a winter's night, they say, when the wind is in the trees, when the moon is a ghostly galleon tossed upon cloudy seas, when the road is a ribbon of moonlight over the purple moor, a highwayman comes riding. A highwayman comes riding up to the old inn door. Over the cobbles he clatters and clangs in the dark inn yard. He taps with his whip on the shutters, but all is locked and barred. He whistles a tune to the window, and who should be waiting there but the landlord's black-eyed daughter, Bess, the landlord's daughter, plaiting a dark red love knot into her long black hair.
Ah, congratulations. Now each person speak 3 minutes of why you like this poetry. Start from Catherine and then Emily, then Leah. Catherine, go ahead. Why you like this poetry? Or summarize it.
Because it's... Oh, can I summarize it?
Yeah, summarize it and then tell me why you like it or you dislike it, you don't like it. Go.
Basically, the highwayman is a thief. He steals gold during the night. And then he was using his horse to gallop all the way to the innkeeper's daughter, Bess. And then he told her, while Tom, I forgot the other part. Tom was listening, eavesdropping on the two. And then the highwayman said that he will be taking the gold, and if he doesn't come back, he'll come back in the middle of the night, I guess. And then he left. And then Tom snitched on them. And then the red troops of King George's men came and drank.
Okay, you don't have to retell the story. Leah, tell me, why do you like the poem or you don't like the poem? Go.
Summary.
You don't have to summarize the whole thing. You don't have to summarize the whole thing.
want to. Me too.
Because it's too long. It's a long story. You already read the story. Now, Emily, you listen to me. You tell me, why do you like the poem or you don't like the poem? What part of the poem moved you or is boring? Go.
It's pretty like exciting. There's like exciting parts, and also it tells about like it has some like really insane details, especially the clothes of the highwayman. And then so Bess, the landlord's daughter, Bess the landlord's daughter, she and the highwayman have like a relationship, and so the highwayman is just stealing gold just for her. And
yeah. Okay, so it's a romance. It's go ahead.
Spoiled.
It's a romance story.
I'm gonna say there's a lot. There is some foreshadowing in this poem because Tom was eavesdropping, and that led us to discovering that he will snitch on the highwayman and Bess, and then
but he didn't want to snitch on Bess because he loves her.
Yeah.
So let's call that love's jealousy, right? Let's call the jealousy.
Yeah,
love's
but
jealousy.
he got her killed. Both of them killed.
Now Leah's turn. Turn.
Can we do April Midnight? Yeah, that's a really good poem.
Oh,
yeah.
April Midnight, we will do it. We will definitely do it. Okay, let's stop here and stop recording here. You guys all did a wonderful job.
Bye. I guess. Also,